craziness of what this industry can afford. And then you add in a little bit of emotional complexity, which most of the great musicians and or artists have. When they find that moment on stage or on a record or anywhere else, that's when the real magic happens. Of course. It's a little bit of a tough thing to balance, but you know, I think we are getting better as a people.
Music, the most powerful form of art in existence today. Music has the ability to influence our moods, help us become more productive, and even change our lives. The musicians that create these pieces are held in high regard in society and have a direct influence over popular culture. We take a dive into the trials and tribulations that they go through to create the work that so many of us love. This is On Road.
Getting to learn people, getting to understand them, getting to hear them, getting to hear their individual stories.
Experimenting with different things, different sounds, like that puts you in the right space and leads you on the right path.
Because I make a very specific type of music. I'm not trying to like hop on every single beat that I make.
It is one thing to have such feelings and generalized images that have been molded and permeated by thought, and another thing to have thoughts about it.
Focuses over different timelines, but it just naturally I ended up finding myself more and more within the urban genres.
Yeah.
So Double HP was like a huge friend. Did all the early records with him. That kind of like opened me up to a bigger hip hop community, and eventually I like found my group love in Squatter Camp.
Got this dude, they recorded this line, that's your full chicken, I eat it alone and give you the bone, cause I'm the king of the throne.
Robin Cole is a renowned South African producer and owner of the legendary Jazzworks Studios in Johannesburg. He has worked with everyone from Lira to Oskido and is known as a pioneer in the South African music industry.
Getting to learn people, getting to understand them, getting to hear them, getting to hear their individual stories and how that fed into the creative process over time.
I was about to say also, like, there's no better way of knowing people but through like how they actually express themselves, you know. Like.
And it's a very unique scenario when you're in a moment of vulnerability, like what a lot of musicians go through to get down their soul or to express their creative ideas to a point where they go, you know, like, this is me, and I'm sharing this with you right now.
Nobody there that really like understood his impact on the youth and hip hop.
Bro,
I had to write something so that my fans in Cape Town can understand.
No, this is what the man meant.
This is what this man was. You guys look up to me. I look up to this. He showed me this.
Asked this question, and I wanna dedicate this to him.
You know?
If you love me, then you love yourself.
Exactly, like why? I've been a big Drake fan for the longest time, and he has a beautiful way of putting together albums. And you know, there's a different element in an album that you wouldn't specifically find in an EP, because with an album I feel like it's way more intentional. There's a whole lot more storytelling. There's a whole lot more. I feel like it's an actual body of work based around something, you know.
Lord Cares burst onto the scene with a soulful appeal and youthful innocence that not many are blessed with. Since then, she's grown a fan base far beyond the boundaries of Mzansi and has no intentions of slowing down anytime soon.
And I also, like, in my career as an artist, I had so many like identity crises and stuff. So yeah, because I feel like my sound is also very diverse and stuff. So I would like try something and then be fixated on it and be like, okay, this is who I am. And then do something completely different and be like, oh shit, this is actually who I am. And now I'm at that stage where it's just like, no, I'm all of those bitches.
I do not care if you don't.
You just kind of know it. Like the beat always has like, once it's finished, it has like a personality. You know what I mean? And the personality, I always just say like, does the personality of the beat match this person?
Mars Baby is slowly becoming one of South Africa's most unique voices. His laid-back sound and thought-provoking writing is making the country fall in love with him, one listen at a time.
Because I make a very specific type of music. I'm not trying to like hop on every single beat that I make. So it's like maybe 1 in every 10 beats I make is for me. Because I'm not a rapper, I'm not performing in this specific type of way. Like I know when a beat like really speaks to like the type of thing that I'm doing, and I know when it's more suited to someone else. But when it's something that I'm planning on releasing, I do like to just like take my time. Like Be Safe, I wrote that song. The lyrics for that song, I wrote that for 2 months. Like
that kind of momentum that came with also maybe corporate South Africa and or general South Africa taking hip hop as a serious genre, that we kind of like moved out of maybe the Bubblegum Era and or kind of what was, you know, let's say the more popularized genres of the time.
Sure.
Experimenting with different things, different sounds, like that puts you in the right space and leads you on the right path.
Like our industry is like just too small, or do you think we just focus so much on being creative that we don't look at the other side of things, like the business side of things?
Yeah, I think for me, the second part is like very true. Like I fall into that trap of like, I haven't promoted myself in a very long time. I haven't spoken to anyone in a very long time because I'm busy creating. And I think that's like fine if you have people around you who are still looking out for that side of things and pushing that side of things. But a lot of people have to do all of that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And even if you do have like a team, there's value in doing all of that yourself and collaborating with them on that and all of that stuff.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
I just wanted to let you know, bro, because you was using the zooted beat for one of the episodes that you're editing, nah? I need to send you a non-exclusivity contract from the producer, bro, because otherwise there might be some queries or, you know, some columns on his end. So please just send me your email, my G, so I can forward you that non-exclusivity contract so that you can see like what all it entails, bro. Yeah, just so that there's no problems with the producer, bro. I'll wait.
Why are artists staying independent? Traditionally, artists have sought after record deals as the only way to ensure the success of their musical careers. But as artists are slowly becoming more aware of their ability to generate income on their own, the perspective is quickly changing. With examples from international artists like Russ and South Africa's very own Mani Padu, it's clear to see that independent success is achievable, and if done correctly, extremely lucrative.
Because I feel like the trap with a lot of labels is they're looking at the top 10, they're like, this is what's hot now, but we don't have these people on our label, so we need to sign someone who's like close to them, you know what I mean? And then that doesn't give those artists the opportunity to say or do what is really like sitting with them, even if maybe what they want to do is like that, but maybe they want to experiment a little bit more after that, and there's no plan for that, you know what I mean? And I think that's such an interesting thing when things like that happen. Like a good example is like Mac Miller. Like Mac Miller started out one way, and the way he finished off his career, it was like a completely different place.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Music is a beautiful thing. All right. Music is a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, baby. It's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you something about music. It's beautiful.
Having like a very strong structure around, I guess that really made it easier for me to know, understand how it works. And I think I'm at a place now where I do understand, and I feel very well equipped for my future, as an artist, as an individual, as a future businesswoman or whatever.
The challenge is how to commercialize that. How do you make money out of that? And unfortunately, that is a market reality. It's a global reality. You look at how the streaming platforms have been built globally. I mean, we didn't dictate that pricing model. That's been built by a global truth, and we have to play part of that game. And however you look at it, it's not easy with the size of the consumer or the base that we have here.
Definitely.
Even 1 million streams here. I mean, that's
nothing.
It's not going to get you. It's not going to get you retirement cash.
It is one thing to have thoughts and intelligent notions, and another to know what impressions, perceptions, and feelings correspond to them.
There's this moment in time where I think from a technical point of view, you want to know that your material or your work within the studio translates in other environments. And then you add in a little bit of emotional complexity, which most of the great musicians and or artists have. When they find that moment on stage or on a record or anywhere else, that's when the real magic happens. And it's a little bit of a tough thing to balance, but I think we are getting better as a people.
It's a different ballgame because it's a very different skill set.
Yeah.
Which I learned when I started performing again, as Mars Baby. I can be the most fire writer or producer and make the most fire music, but it doesn't translate on stage unless I pull up a certain way. Unless I take care of my voice, unless I practice my songs, unless I have a certain energy and persona on stage, and presence and all of that.
If you're not moving, it's a problem. You gotta fucking move. Everybody in the front chair, you gotta fucking move. Everybody in the back there, you gotta fucking move. Let's go.
It is one thing to have such feelings and generalized images that have been molded and permeated by thought, and another thing to have thoughts about it.
You.